Hi, it's Cindy Fodor here with Stamp the Love, and it is Make It Monday. I cannot believe it's been a week already. This has gone so fast. And oh, it feels like spring's upon us, although that frost overnight seems to remind us that it is not all over yet. So we shall see, right? I'm going to make sure we're transmitting here and give you guys a chance to pop on and say hi. And we'll see. All right, there we go. All right, so let's see if we have anybody joining us tonight. I have a really fun project to show you guys. I hope you're as excited as I am. Yay, everything's working. Yes, that's what I thought too. Like, oh my goodness, it all worked. It's always a moment of holding your breath when you go live, right? How are you, Michelle? Hopefully you're having a good day. Maybe the end of a good day. So I will go ahead and announce. Hi, Linda. Welcome. I'll give it a few seconds. Okay. I think my sound is working, Sylvia. Maybe check your speakers. Good, Michelle. Hi, Donna. Hey, Karen. Good to see you guys popping on here all quickly at 8:01 p.m. That's awesome. You guys are on the ball. So I'm going to go ahead and announce that last week's drawing, there were, I think, 43 comments and a couple of shares. And Donna, you won playing with patterns dots. So I will add that to the other things that I have a bag of stuff that I'm saving up for you, waiting for all those back orders to come in. So, okay, Sylvia, good. Hi, Susan. Good, I'm glad the sound is working. That's a relief. I do know I checked that this time, but that doesn't mean it's always working, right? All right. So, are you guys excited? I'm hopefully going to show you a new technique tonight. It's new to me. I think I just saw it for the first time like a week ago. So, somebody came up with it. I did not. I'm even trying to think of the name of the lady. I think she had a German accent, and I had to turn on the, what do you call it? Those words that come across the bottom. I can't think what it's called. Anyways, I had to turn that on so that I could sort of get some measurements, but it still didn't make any sense to me. But anyways, figured it out. So I'm excited. Hi to Lara. Hi, Laura. Good to have you all here. This is awesome. And everybody's popped on so quickly. That's great. So we can get started. Unless anybody has any questions. Closed captioning. That's what it is, Michelle. Thanks. I know it was CC, but I just couldn't. My brain wouldn't work that fast. Y'all know how I get tongue-tied on this camera. Okay, so unless you have any questions or comments, don't forget to comment during. The more times you comment, the more entries you get. Don't forget to share. You get extra entries for sharing with a friend or on your page, or however you like to do that, to let your friends know that there's a fun new technique, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my other screen and we will get started. So, excuse me, I did post this on my regular Facebook page. So this is the card I'm going to show you, and you may have seen this. I want to say Jana was the girl's name of maybe Paper Dreams or something like that. And so when you lift this card, it opens and it comes up like this. So it's sort of, I just like that it sort of leans, but it's attached. So there's a little mechanism in here that I'm going to teach you how to make tonight. Okay. It's got pretty much all basic supplies. And let me go over those really quickly with you. So I'm using, the stamp set I'm using is Circle of Celebration. And this was one of the first sets that I saw in the catalog. It's very understated, and yeah, you like it too. Good. Hi, Barbara, I missed you. Yeah, so I want to use it more. I've seen some really cute ideas with it. It's different than just flowers. It gives you some different prints and things like that. So I'm going to use that tonight. I'm also using my oval dies. We'll be using the one scallop from this. And I was going to just use the regular oval as well, but you guys know how I love my, and I don't have all of those in here, but I'm using the stitched shapes as well, because that has ovals in that match the same shape as these ovals. Okay, so let me show you how I set this up. So I have my base card, which is 5.5 by 8.5, and my white piece is 5 1/4 by 4, and I just tacked this on the center. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I love the oval dies. Squares are okay, but you can always cut a square, except for a square scallop. And of course, the rectangles I love. I use them all the time. And circles, you just sometimes need circles. But ovals work great with this shape of card. So anyways, so I just tacked my white down because I want to stamp it, but I want to cut it first. So yes, I do love the stitched. So anyways, so I just ran this through my Big Shot, and of course I had to use the big one because I was doing the whole width of the card. So I ran that through, and I just left it on there, and I was able to cut through both pieces at one time. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, okay, I probably do too. I probably do too, Karen. Use the ovals more than any of the other ones. Okay, so now, since I'm in here, I'm going to use this piece here. I'm just going to clean off the little white bit that sort of got pressed into the outside of this. Okay, and so we'll use these pieces. All right, let me lay those aside for a second. And this one I want to do as a scallop. So I'm going to just run that back through my little shot. Let me put that aside. We'll pull this little guy out here. He's just so cute that I have to use him on camera because he fits on my table. And I'm just going to lay this on here. Let's see. I'm going to use my more messed up one. I usually try to keep one for cutting and one for scoring. It's not absolutely necessary, but at least you can see through it, right? If it's not all scuffed up. All right. So now I have a scallop, and I will put him away. Okay, so let's do our stamping next. We'll get the stamping done, and then I will show you the mechanism. I have a couple of tips to tell you while I'm stamping, so that's why I wanted to show you this part as well. I'm using Blackberry Bliss and Just Jade inks, and I don't know about you guys, but I hate to stain my stamps, and you can see that this one's already stained a little bit. You can't see it as much as it looks stained anyways. So I'm trying to be really careful not to stain them. So there's a couple tips. One is to ink with a Versamark before you stamp with a red ink or anything that's red. And so I already did that to most of my stamps, and I'm just going to go ahead and cover this again to make sure that it's good and protected. It's not going to completely protect it, but it's going to help it a little bit. The other thing is not to smush your stamps down in the ink pad, okay? And I'm going to grab my mat because I am using photopolymer, and that way they're going to stamp nice for me. So I'm just going to, you can't see everything here. I'm just going to gently ink this. I just want to ink the edge of it, or not the edge. I just want to ink the surface is what I wanted to say. And I'm not pushing hard. I'm just trying to make sure that the whole surface is inked. But I also want to waste an image. So I actually, you know, there's something about wasting an image that I personally think you need to completely waste the image to really get a nice look. Especially with this stamp, it is very, it's a very mottled looking stamp. I think I could possibly even get, I can see the line there where my card was. So I'm going to use this part that didn't stamp. And then I'm going to ink it again. I'm going to waste that image again. I'm going to stamp one down here. And then again, I can see that line. So I'm going to scoot one right in here. I'm careful not to stamp that line because that line will show up right on my card. And okay, I'm going to go ahead and wash this. I'm going to use my chamois to clean it. And then I'm going to do another process to clean it. I told you how I like the EnviroCloth from Norwex to clean this. And I also heard that people like to use alcohol and that it hasn't damaged their photopolymer stamps. I'm hoping it doesn't. So I have a bottle of alcohol here. And I do think that that helped to really get my stamp clean and get that pink off of it. And so I'm going to use my EnviroCloth to just really clean that surface. And I think it did a pretty good job. All right, let's see. I'm going to keep going with the burgundy or the Blackberry Bliss while I have it open. And I'm going to use this little stamp. It's just little stitched lines. And since we all like stitches so much, right? I'm going to go ahead. I did ink that in Versamark already. And I'm going to just add that to the dark splotches that I did. And we're going to clean that one as well. I found that you have to clean them right away or you will lose that chance of getting that ink off. So if you'll just bear with me, I'm going to try to keep these as clean as possible. And I'm really working it on the edge because I noticed that that ink gets down around here when you scrub it, and it will stain the back of your stamp, and then you might have cleaned the surface of your stamp, but the back of your stamp got stained. And I did get a little bit of pink down around there. Let me just wipe the back of that quick. Okay. All right, let's see. I'm going to leave that open just because I'm going to use it in a second. I'm going to turn to the green now, Just Jade. These two colors look so pretty together. And I'm not going to worry as much about inking this one because I'm not worried about this staining my stamp. Oh, I didn't want to do that though. I wanted to stamp it off. Did any of you hold your breath when I did that? I hate when I do that, and I did it on my other card too. And that's why my ribbon ended up over here. But I'm not sure I can fix that. Oh my. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I just used the same cloth that I used to clean my pink one, so now I just made it pink again. So let me just clean that off real quick. That was really dumb. Okay. Now we're going to add some accents to this. This is a cute inside that works well. I don't know if it's going to show up on this really dark one. It doesn't do too bad. And you probably can't tell, but I'm not being really careful where I stamp this. If it doesn't line up perfect, I'm not too worried about it. And then I'm going to take, let's see, this is a little like it's not even a completed flower, but I like the look of it. And I just stamped that in some empty spots. Of course, I ended up with not very many empty spots on this one for some reason. But I just like the look of it. It reminds me of a stamp set we had years ago that was great for collages. and it was just parts of flowers and different things that you didn't have to be real particular with. You could just stamp anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and ink that inverse mark again because it's been sitting here a little bit. So the center of the flower, or this little flower, is going to be the center of this. There we go. And once again, let me just clean that real quick. Not sure, I might be tempted to make everybody do this. that alcohol is pretty strong though, making me sneeze. All right, so that's a little darker than I wanted it. Probably because I used the matte and it really stamped well compared to when I stamped it on my table out there that I wasn't careful with. So anyways, let's go ahead and stamp the inside real quick while we've got the ink pads open. I am going to, I just did a little bit here in the corner. So I used this little starburst, and I'm going to put it in this corner. And I just did 2 of those, and I don't think I Versamarked this. And then I'll just put the dots in the center. That way we have a little bit of design there. Okay. All right, guys, let's talk about how this mechanism works. Do you guys like pop-ups? Yes, I am using rubbing alcohol. I don't suggest you use that on rubber at all, but on the photopolymer, folks seem to think that it's okay for that. So we shall see. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fold this. Actually, I was thinking I had a score line there, but I don't. It's just a mark where the cutter was, so I will fold this carefully. Okay. Now, I have a piece of cardstock. It is 2 inches by 4 inches. So, oh good, you like pop-ups. So I'm going to, this is a little different. Like I typically make a little cube and I glue it closed, but this totally made sense to me when I saw her doing this. I guess I can get rid of this color. We're finished with that one. I'll set that out of my way because you know I'm going to stick my hand in it. Okay, so I do have it scored at 1, 2, and 3. So it's 4 inches long, and I'm going to go ahead and fold it on those score lines. And I actually want to burnish those because I want them to be nice and crisp. Fighting with me. All right, so now if you look at it, it does make a little cube, but the only way it's going to stay a cube is if it's glued to 2 sides that are parallel to, not parallel, congruent to each other. What do I want to say? Yeah, help me with my geometry. Okay, but anyways, I'm going to be gluing it into this little corner right here, and that's going to keep it as a cube when it stands up, or it can go flat when it lays down. So that's the cool thing about these little cubes, and you can put them anywhere. You've seen me use them in other places. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and glue one side, one of the loose sides, and I'm going to put plenty of Seal Plus on it. You want something that's going to hold. And this is going to lay down, and it's going to go right into the fold. So I'm going to press that down good. And my purpose is to have this this one score line show, because I'll show you in a minute why, but you can see it through there. I probably want to see it just a little more than that, but I think it'll be okay. Now I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to glue this one just at the top because I don't want it to show here where you saw that peeking through. So I'm going to just glue it here at the top, and then I'm going to go ahead and close that. Okay, so there's our little pop-up. Now we're going to add one little mechanism that that Jana did, and that I think helped it to slant for you. And so it's just this one little piece of paper, and I cut mine at 3 1/4 inches. I'm gonna do it here just to, just so that you can see. So, I'm sorry, 3 3/4 of an inch. And I scored it at 2 inches. Well, almost 2 inches. So I want the one side to be longer than the other. So you can see about that much. So 3 3/4 by, it's 3/4 of an inch wide. It doesn't really matter how wide it is. Now, what's going to happen with this piece is your fold is going to be down here, and this piece is going to get glued up here. All right, and then you see how this is sitting up? That's what's going to help that piece to stand up. So we're going to flip this over, and we're going to add adhesive just to the top of this. And that's going to scoot right up into there. I'm going to even push it a little past, maybe, if I can get it a little bit past the, the oval. And press that down good. Looks like I got it a little crooked. Okay, now let's go ahead and put our front piece on, and that should fit perfectly if I can turn it right. Since I threw it up there, I'm not sure. Yeah, I remember I'd stamped that bad one up there in the corner. So, and this should match up perfectly with my center. Okay, and now we're ready to finish this part, and I still didn't get all that white from the outside the edge since it cut both of them together. I don't really want that sticking out and catching. It's really sticking. I might take my sanding block and just sand that a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp. I'm using shoot, I didn't bring that stamp set along in here. I think it's called Best Year Ever. It has those plaid dies with it. It has some really nice sayings in it. And I was working with that set and had it out, and I was like, oh, this thank you should fit nicely as long as I can stamp it straight. And try not to smear it. I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive on here so I don't smear it. I still see white on there. So now I'll have this pretty scallop with some green around the edge. And for this, I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive right on this flap that's sticking up. And then this piece will lay right down in where it came out of. I want to make sure it fits good. And you might have to just sort of tuck this down in for the first time lifting it. And is it sticking? Yep. So there we go. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put my card on the inside. Oh, sugar. You probably watched me do that, didn't you? So what I might do is just cut off 1 inch so that I can tuck that up in there, because I really do want to have this in here because it's so cute. I know I stuck that down way too good to pick that back up. And yeah, let me get my trim on here. Let's see, it's 1 inch wide, so I may have to cut a little bit more than 1 inch off. Let's see if this works. Yeah, that works good. There we go. That's not terrible. That's not a terrible mistake, right? That doesn't look awful. All right, now we need to add ribbon to it, and I love this technique for ribbon, where when you have a hole like this, you can just come in here and just tie your bow right around that little column. It saves ribbon, and it saves glue. So quick and easy if you can get your fingers to work. And some scissors to do the snipping, and voila. And you could even embellish that with some pearls or something if you wanted to. Get that down here where you can see it. So that's it, guys. Yes, a happy accident. Oh, okay. So that's all I have, and that was pretty fast. I told you it'll be quick and easy, and I think you could even do this if you don't have ovals, if you've got circles. You could even do this with a square. So you can do it with any shape that you want, any shape that will pop up. But you do want something that has a pretty regular edge here at the top at least, so that it doesn't catch constantly for you. And I see that this little tab that I tried to tuck underneath snuck out from under there when I put this piece on. So there, you got to stay down there, buddy. So anyways, I hope you like that. Thank you guys for joining me. Hey Debbie, I didn't see you pop in. Hopefully I said hi to everybody else, and I just really appreciate you guys being here. So don't forget to check back next week when I will be announcing who won from this week. And don't be afraid to share this even after the thing ends. Just let me know that you shared it, because I can't always see that. So, and you know what else I would love? You guys try this stuff. I wish you would post it. I think that I made this page open that you guys can post things that you have made when you see a cute idea that you like, and show your twist on it. So I would love if you would do that and show me what you're working on. That makes me feel good whenever you copy things that you've seen, because that means you've liked it. So all right, guys, I am crazy busy getting ready for retreat. It starts on Thursday, so say a little prayer for me. Things are going well. Everything is pretty much packed, other than all of the stamps and ink pads and all of that stuff I have to pull out for all the classes, and then load up everything. And I haven't planned the meal yet, so I have one meal that I plan for Thursday night, just because the camp doesn't do Thursdays. And so anyways, yeah, it'll come together, I'm sure. So here's a second card I wanted to show you that I'm casing from somebody. I loved the way she laid it out. And it's using black and Pool Party. And I already stamped the one side of this. And I'm going to see how good I can get on the other side, because I think my ink pad was a little bit, I didn't like how gray my design was. So we'll take the best of two. How's that sound? Sorry, shaking the table a little bit. It would be helpful if I can look down and straight on it, but I'm going to have to wing it. That is not bad. And look how light this one was. So I think this one's definitely a little bit darker, so we'll go with that one. Just going to clean this right away, so that there's a lot of stamps in this set. So if you don't keep them cleaned as you go, it can get really messy. All right, so here's the other pieces that I have. I have Pool Party as my base. I have a piece from the Fine Art DSP that has this really pretty textured paste look to it, and that's in Pool Party. And then I have some other cutouts here. This is from the DSP in the Soft Subtles, or the Subtles. And so I'm going to just layer these. Then I also, she added a touch, because it's all black and Pool Party, she added a touch of the True Love DSP. So I'm going to put that on here as well. But before I put everything together, I want to do a little bit of stamping. There's a little dot stamp in this set. And again, I'll show you the stamp set real quick so that you can see what I'm talking about. Circle Celebrations is the one I'm using again. So really some cool stamping ideas. And I'm going to add a couple spots here. All right, so we'll see when I'm finished. I might have to add a few more. I'm going to go ahead and glue these layers together. The dog just came in here to help me. What are you doing, Kelly? And I'm going to center this, but I'm not going to stick the left side down because I want to tuck this black and white piece under it. So I'm going to just add a little bit of adhesive to this. And I just want a little bit to show. There we go. That's cute. And we're going to put a bunch of dimensionals on this piece because I really want it to have some, that's our focal point. And I'll stick one in the center there. All right, so let me just lay the other ones out here. I have lots of pieces stamped. I don't know what all I want to use, but I'm just going to sort of get an idea how I want these to go. This one's more solid, so I think I'll put this one, this more solid piece here. And then, not sure if I want this one or not. I think I'll put this here. And I'll pop that up there with a mini dimensional. Put that right in the center of this one. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. I want it to be a little longer than wide. So we'll tuck those in there. How's that sound? Uh-oh. Not sure. I think I used the wrong side. Oh well. You'll have this. I'm not dimensionaling. That's not really a word, but the rest of this just because then it would be competing with my happy birthday. So it's all going to be just flat. All right, ready for this one. And then we're going to add some matte black dots because they are awesome and they're going to be just what the doctor ordered. Because this is cool, but adding bling is always cool, right? So I'm going to grab my take a pick tool and we'll grab a couple of these. Looks like it got a little dried out there on the tip. Let me get a small one here. It's always fun trying to decide where you're going to put them, right? I do try to do an odd amount, and I don't want too many. So I think I'm going to just put that one there like that. There we go. Okay, so I just wanted to show you another idea with the Circle Celebration just because it is such a cool set and there's so much you can do with it.